Hi everybody, it's Peg, and today on Art Joy Sharing, Chelsea and I did our usual hour and a half of creating. And today I have been sorting a lot of papers, getting ready for our collage class that's coming up in the month of February. If you want to know about that, please follow the description box information below. It's at pegarobinson.com. You can register for that class and join in. It is going to be 4 Saturdays in February, and we will be working in collage fundamentals. So today I am just showing, how I gather different collage papers together and sort and store. And I've been spending a lot of time sorting and storing things. These are just some containers that have tags, different sizes of tags, different papers and different binders. These are 3D embossed papers, and so I have a lot of different ways to store these things. So different boxes that are in drawers behind me where I can find things by category. And then I just also have the mess on my desk. So today I'm working with the mess on my desk, and gonna do these tags. It'll probably end up being a journal eventually. These are papers that I had previously gel print, and they are on cardstock, so they're a little bit heavier weight, kind of like tag would be, like tag board. So I'm just cutting these down to size and gonna stack them up, and because the paint is wet, I'm gonna put a few more layers of things on here. Before I come back and do any other work on these, I want to let them dry down. So just stacking them up, setting them aside, seeing what else I can do. This is just some random paper from my desk. I'm going to glue it down on the back side of this one because it did not have any painted surface. So I'm going to get out my gel and just put that down. And I've got a few other random things sitting around on my desk, so I'm going to glue a few more things on here just because, I'm trying to use up stuff. That was a piece of handmade washi tape. Shell and I had done that, I think, in another live some time ago. And going to layer this piece. This is just a piece of paper that I had die cut, and this is the remains of that shiny foliage die cut. Now this yellow is a little bit too bright for me, so I'm going to tame it down, adding some Sedona and, just brayering out some color onto these papers because I want to have some mix of colors in the background before I start layering and collaging on these tags. A brayer is a great way to move that paint around on a surface. You could use a brush, you could use a credit card, you could use, your fingers, do some finger painting. Just about anything you want to do is going to work here. But getting the excess paint on that pickup paper and using my trowel to spread some more layers. And I have this new stencil. This is part of the quad set. There was a new design for Stencil Club this month, and so I'm going to use that to layer in some more texture on the top of that one. And I'm just chatting with the people in the group, and if you want to see the whole thing live, go over and find Art Joy Sharing channel. It's a sister channel to Peg Robinson. It's where Shell and I share our art and our process. And she will have a little bit different take on things. She was making ATCs today out of a masterboard, and I was doing these tag things. And then I have a couple of journals that I've been working on for this grunge revival thing. You can see these backgrounds are quite grungy. Even though they're colorful, they're still quite grungy. And I will attach those tags to one another and make a little book out of that. But meanwhile, I'm grabbing this other journal. This is something that I put some grungy color onto I think last week during live maybe. Anyway, I'm cleaning up my mess because my paper had gotten stuck. This is just one of those diary journals, and I want to alter it from the way it was sold to me, so I'm going to add some more color. I want the contrast of the red against the green here, so I'm going to get that layered on, and I will set that aside to dry. And now I have this other journal. This is a Dina Wakley journal that I've been working in for a number of weeks now. I like the cardstock that's in here. It's really thick, and I like the tone tan. And I'm just pulling out some punch circles, trying to see where I want to go with this page. I've just got some scrap stuff that, I punch circles, and I've got these rectangles of paper, and there's a image, and so I'm going to get some gesso, and I'm just going to start with a smeared on grungy layer of gesso down the middle of my page, just cleaning off the top of that container onto my page and making some marks into it, giving it more dimension. And then I will start to dry that down. It's difficult to work when it's thick like this and wet, and I want to get some of those heavier pieces of paper attached. So I will end up using some hot glue along with this other tacky glue to adhere those pieces to my page. Tacky glue is a pretty good glue, but when you're working wet like this, you really need to use the glue sticks in order to keep that stuff in play, because it's an hour-and-a-half show. We got to keep moving and keep this thing progressing. So I'm having a little difficulty getting the lid off of my inks. These are Indie inks, and I want to add some of that to the gesso area, grunge it up a little bit. And I'm going to have several colors here. I think there was a teal and kind of a lime green and an orange, brown. Yeah. So got my heat tool, heating it up, drying it down, adding more color, spritzing it with water, mix, 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 like we do. Yeah, there's the orange coming out. I really like that vibrant orange against the blue and lime green. I think that's a great combination for colors. And then, what am I doing here next? I grabbed the Payne's Gray. I want to do a little bit of stenciling. The sponge that I grabbed first was not a good sponge, so I'm getting a brush tool and stenciling into the background. That's a Stencil Girl stencil that I cut up into pieces again because I only wanted the pieces. I'm thinking about this, and I decide I want to cut the page down, and because I've got these peekaboos and things going on in this journal, and I want to alter this little piece of cardstock that's got this image from Dina Wakley on it. I could have done that as a tip out. I could have just attached it down at the bottom of the page and tipped that out and had something behind, but yeah, we were running out of time, and I figured I needed to do something quicker. So I started looking at those circles. Didn't like that. And this is where I decide, I'm going to get my X-Acto knife and my cutting board, and I'm just going to cut the edge of that page off in an uneven manner, and then I'm going to end up attaching it to the other side of the page so that it becomes a flap. So there I go with my X-Acto knife. It's kind of thick paper, so I've got to go through it a few times, and then I decide, well, that's enough with the knife. I can grab my scissors and finish trimming that out. So there's the piece, and I'm going to reuse that piece on the other side. So got my sanding block and cleaning up the edges, and there you can see this is what I'm thinking is this is going to flip over, in this direction. So I got some tape. This is a document repair tape. You can find that in my Amazon store. It's a really good tape. It's what they use to mend books with. And it's kind of transparent, so you can hide it behind things. And I'm going to put 3 pieces of that on so that it's going to go right across the page. And then I'm showing, somebody asked about the face I was using, and so I was showing some of these other faces that I could have chosen from. And then my storage unit that's got faces in it, and I decided I was just going to combine them all into the one container. And so now I'm going to glue this down, but I want to put some paper on the back of this piece. So I've got this is a collaged piece of paper that has sticky on the back. I may have run it through the Xyron or something, but want to get that coated with something other than just the chipboard paper, and then I'm going to go around the edge, and I will end up taping the outside edge of that too eventually. So I'm going to glue down the face, trying to see where I want it. I'm going to use some hot glue to stick that down with, because this is a little heavier cardstock. This is some of that collage paper that's actually on a cardstock weight. And I'm just doing a little bit of splatter, heating it up, continuing on with the process. So now I'm going to grab my Stabilo All, and I'm just going to scratch down some words. I can't remember exactly what I wrote there, but it had some meaning to me when I wrote it. And I'm ending up the show now. This was the end of the live show, so I was showing them the tags and how far I'd gotten on that journal page. And so the audience is leaving, and then I decide, well, I really need to finish this page out so I can get it posted in Art Joyous Sharing, which is our Facebook group where we share all of this information. And I also wanted to finish out that edge before it got damaged, so I started with that document tape. Gonna finish taping up that edge and adding a few more elements to the page. I did not videotape the page that you're looking at now. There are pictures of it on Instagram. I don't videotape every single page that I do, but adding more texture with a little finger painting, putting some drywall tape down, and a number of different things to complete this. So if you're new to my channel and you're liking this and you'd like to see more, be sure and subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, give it a thumbs up, and you can join my channel. I have a membership to my channel where I do exclusive things for my channel members, so that's also a join button down below the video if you are on a computer. I guess there is a workaround if you're on something else, and I'll have to put instructions for that someplace. But getting a piece, this is from what is that stuff? It's Stevia package. They have these quotes and stuff on the back of the Stevia package. So I'm going to put that down and grungy that up. And that has a quote on it. What did it say? It said, every moment matters. And the other little blue tag says, stay 6 feet apart. And then what I stamped on the page says, what appears to be the end is usually the start of a new beginning. So that's about it for this page today. I will post